where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian. With me is Willow.
Hello.
Hello. And it is Satan made me do it month.
It is. It is Satan month.
Satan's about to have me behaving foolishly as well. Why not? I'm just going to start blaming it on him.
I mean, you
Everything.
might as well.
Yeah.
Who else would you blame it on? Yourself? No. No. Look.
People blame enough stuff on me. I don't need any. I don't need to help
That's
him
what
out.
Satan says.
But yeah, poor guy though, for real. Yeah. So that's enough chit chat. What case is this?
This is the Danielle and Manuella Ruda case. They are satanic Nazi vampires.
That sounds like the plot of the game Doom.
It definitely sounds like a really shitty game.
Or what was that? Wolfenstein. Yeah, Wolfenstein. You killed like zombie vampires.
They are German.
In hell or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, this case takes place in Germany.
Just not a good look overall.
No. So, yeah, trigger warnings for this case, obviously racism.
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah. Which I'm not going to talk about.
We don't need to.
No. But also self-harm, drinking blood, murder. But, this isn't a very, gruesome case other than just how these people are in general.
Okay.
So, yeah, the story begins in 2001 in West Germany. Frank Hackert, a.k.a. Hacky, was invited over to his friends for a little house party. Little did he know he was the party, and no one else was attending except the hosts, newlyweds, satanic vampires, Daniel and Manuella Ruda. The two had met after Daniel submitted a Lonely Hearts ad to a metal magazine, which read, end quote, "Black-haired vampire seeks princess of darkness who despises everything and everybody and has forbidden farewell to life."
Okay, hold on. A couple things. First, still in the year of our Lord 2001, we answering Lonely Hearts ads?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we was all on AIM.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, well, I guess 2001 was still pretty early in the internet age.
Heavy magazine era.
It really was. I remember that. I had
stacks
several.
and stacks and stacks of magazines.
My ex always bought Maxims, and it made me want to roll them up and shove them up his butt. It was like, it's not porn. I was like, okay, but I don't want it on the coffee table. I'd rather have real porn on the coffee table. Go hard, go home, show me some nip nops. Anyway, the other thing is that ad is ridiculous. And I'm surprised anyone answered it, but please continue.
Well, apparently Manuela thought that this was a literal sign from the Dark Lord himself.
Oh, Satan approved.
Mm-hmm. So she answered the ad. And Daniel got exactly what he ordered.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. You guys have to see the pictures of these two.
I looked them up. It's good.
Yeah. So they were both basically the epitome of German goth club culture of the late 90s, mixed with the newly revitalized German neo-Nazi movement. So, of course, they were both covered in scratcher hate tattoos and DIY piercings. The eyebrows. I'm just going to leave it at that. The hair, the leather, the upside down crosses and metal band t-shirts. They definitely looked the part for sure.
Well, I want to say something real quick. As somebody who, so I have toned down my goth. I used to be what you call a trad goth. What's a trad goth? That is, I liked the look of the goth style from the 1980s. That mean I had some big hair.
Yes.
And mohawks.
Yes.
And edgy makeup.
Yes.
Black. I drew on my fucking eyebrows. You know I did. It was the late 90s. Fuck you.
Manuela looked like she was trying to be you. But she had the angriest scowl on her face.
I'm a very happy person, and always have been.
When I say the eyebrows, I mean
scowling.
No, I mean it was drawn with a shaky hand. It was just not neat, not well done. I mean, of course, they went all the way up to her hairline.
Yeah, like they're supposed to.
The idea behind her fashion statements was there, but the execution
was unhinged.
Yes.
Yes, but I just want all my little gothlings out there
Absolutely.
to know.
Absolutely.
Anti-Lillian approves.
Yes.
You continue the counterculture movement.
Yes.
For Anti-Lillian wears muumuus now and is very tired.
She's passed the torch to you.
I have,
Yes.
and I'm
Scare
growing...
everyone.
I grew out the mohawk, and I'm growing out the side shave, because someday I'm going to be a Meemaw.
Yes.
Okay? I'm still going to wear all black.
That's right.
Forever. But yeah, I'm not wearing like the pleather and the mini skirt and the like Christian death t-shirts and upside down crosses. I'm just not as edgy as I used to be. But most of those kids who wear that stuff are perfectly harmless.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But not these folks.
Not these two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel grew up having an all-around hatred for all human beings. He didn't like to socialize. He didn't like people. He genuinely wished everyone was dead.
A misanthrope.
Mm-hmm. He would flinch at the approach of any physical contact, like a hug or, a high five or anything like that. And he never really made any friends. In his early 20s, he canvassed for the German National Democratic Party, which is a far-right neo-Nazi party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Democratic Party over there is different than ours.
Yeah.
By a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and this was like kind of an uprising of neo-Nazis at the time.
Yes.
He dove into the culture of the German goth scene and started going to these underground satanic rituals where they'd cut each other and drink each other's blood. He got really into the scene during the buildup of this political elections, assuming that Satan was coming into power and that there was so much to celebrate. But when the party didn't win the election, he felt like he lost too. So
I just feel like Satan wouldn't be in politics. Unless he wanted to torture himself. Thought he's here to torture us.
No, Satan would be a cop, I'm sure.
Nah, Satan would be a politician. You fucking shitting me. And like a bishop. I'll stop. I'm just going to get in trouble.
Yeah, don't.
Stop. I'm stopping.
So he went into a depression and he left the scene. He filed down his teeth into points and he started his own metal band called Bloodsucking Freaks. I
kind of like that.
I
know they
flopped.
weren't good.
No.
But if they were like super good and like had a hot chick like front woman, like
yeah,
I'd be into it.
Yeah. If the right person, I don't
if
know
it had
if I
kind
could
of like
get past the file down teeth.
A German industrial vibe like KMFDM or something, or like My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult, I'd be really into it.
Is that a band name?
Yeah.
It's a whole sentence.
My Life with a Thrill Kill Cult are amazing, and I've seen them like 20 times. I've met them all. They're very nice. You may continue.
Okay. So, yeah, once his band wasn't successful, he turned to Satan again. And this time he devoted himself to the Dark Lord. That's when Satan himself told him that he was his messenger. And this somehow convinced him to reach out in the Lonely Hearts section of the magazine to find his princess of darkness. Manuella was 3 years younger than him at the time. She was 20 and was essentially perfect for this role. She was actually considered a very normal child growing up. She did pretty well in school. She had a good relationship with her family and her peers. But when she turned 13, everything changed.
That's about the age when it do.
It is.
If it's gonna.
She became angry and violent and allegedly started biting people randomly as she walked down the street. Like random pedestrians would just be walking by and she would just be like...
See, and it wasn't the early 2000s then, or I would have said like, was it like RAR XD, bite, nom, nom, nom type of shit?
That was my high school. Yeah.
Thank God I wasn't in high school for that crap. I'd have lost my mind.
We had the girls that hissed. That was fun.
LOL, I'm so random.
Rawr. So her parents ended up taking her to see several doctors and psychiatrists, but she was never diagnosed with any type of mental illness or condition. And honestly, I think the therapy just worsened it. It made her rebel more. She claimed that Satan himself visited her when she was 14. And after... Sorry. I know Lillian has experience with that as a teenager. So
Not Satan. Well,
no.
maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. But
will.
after this, it completely changed her. This is when she began cutting her hair and dyeing it and styling it all crazy to scare as many people as possible. She was basically a walking act of rebellion, which I
get.
I definitely think that everyone should, at least at one point in their life, be a physical act of rebellion.
Look, just become unhinged and dress crazy and scare everyone.
People.
It's very fun.
Yes. It's lovely. You'll meet a lot of really cool people doing it. She started, wearing the black tattered clothes and over-the-top makeup, wild hair, and mostly for like jump scare reactions, which again, I get. She dropped out of school at 16 and worked in a goth nightclub in North London. Here, she became a vampire.
Like you do.
There was like apparently a whole like apprenticeship.
Yes, it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And so once do you graduate from it?
Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
So some of you may be reality TV enthusiasts.
No.
But there was a house show like where a bunch of freaks live in a house.
Okay.
And one of them was Don Henry. Don Henry is an Asian guy who believes he's an actual vampire, and he's got like the long nails, and he's really physically fit, and he drinks a lot of blood. And really, it's just to have some freaky sex with a lot of ladies, in my opinion. And I'm friends with him on Facebook, so I know a little about this lifestyle because I find it fascinating.
The vampire lifestyle.
My vampire lifestyle. Oh, it's bringing it on back. Bringing it on back.
Full circle.
Our first month was Vampire Month.
Mm-hmm.
Vampire Killer Month.
Yep.
And we covered the Kentucky Fried Vampires, and we did the hashtag Vampire Lifestyle.
Vampire Lifestyle.
But
it's
yes,
trademarked at this point.
Basically, not even allegedly. And anyway, Don Henry, like you have a master. It's more like almost like a BDSM style relationship.
That makes sense. Okay.
And it's a lot of blood play. It's all consensual, and like safe-ish. I mean, I wouldn't ingest anyone's blood personally. Bloodborne pathogens are a thing.
I almost said allergies.
Oh, I'm going to kill you. And so basically you have like a master, and then you have thralls, and these are people who aren't vampires, but they're donors, so you can drink their blood, and then someone crosses you over or turns you or whatever fucking fancy vampire word they're going to use. And that's where you drink each other's blood and do nasty stuff, I'm sure, like doing it and whatnot. And now you're a vampire, and then you can get fledglings. Your master's fledgling, and there's like all sorts of levels.
There's a hierarchy.
Yeah, and then there's like a prince of the city, because they all played too much Vampire the Masquerade in high school.
This sounds like D&D.
Because it is. Vampire the Masquerade is Vampire D&D.
Yeah, vampire.
Well, you have to say vampire in a country accent.
Yeah.
Like True Blood or something. All right, continue, please. I just wanted to add my little...
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I don't obviously know the whole thing.
I only know because of that stupid reality TV show.
Well, she's 16 at this time.
Girl, you're too young for that shit.
Yeah. So, once she became a vampire, was done with her apprenticeship, she ended up hosting these blood, bite parties is what she called them. And she even said later on that, like, when she was that age, 16 years old, that she was just so pretty and so good looking that men would just flock to her. So she basically had blood donors at her beck and call at all times.
That's how that works.
But yeah, as an adult looking at that situation.
Yeah, it's real fucked up.
Ugh, even if they weren't.
And honey, it wasn't because you were so pretty. It was because you were young, vulnerable, and easily manipulated by older dudes.
Yeah. Ugh. Gross. So at 17, she moved to Scotland to indulge in the goth culture there. They, in big groups, would slit their wrists and sleep on graves. She said that one time her and her friends actually opened up a grave so that way they could sleep inside of it, so that way they knew what it was like to sleep amongst the dead.
I just don't want to.
It's just so edgy.
Sounds stinky. I don't like it.
She also spent time living on an island called the Isle of Skye in a cave with a very heavily tattooed 62-year-old man named Tom Leopard. I don't know what happened in this cave or how long she lived there.
God, some of this sounds like my life. I'm just going to be honest. I've done a lot of similar things.
It's so bizarre.
So have you, to be frank.
I know.
Yeah.
It's true. I know, it's like this story doesn't necessarily surprise me.
We can see where it's going.
Yeah.
But it could have turned into she just became like a suburban mom later and she's like, oh, back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't.
That's not the way it went.
Nope. By 18, she moved to Germany to meet with more friends there. She got her 2 incisors removed and put implants for big fangs. She shaved her head into a mohawk and started getting all types of satanic tattoos all over her. She later said that she wanted to stand out from, quote, the ignorant masses that surrounded her. And obviously that she did. Daniel thought she was the epitome of everything that he wanted in a bride. Of course, their first date was at a cemetery. They quickly moved in together. They both bonded over their love for Satan and the vampire lifestyle. And decorated their apartment accordingly. Stacks of satanic texts and Nazi art all over the walls. They had a big coffin as a coffee table, which everyone that I saw that like covered this case or the articles that I read, they really leaned heavily into this coffin coffee table, which I get because later on it's, you know, it's part of the story, but they thought it was just so weird to have a coffin coffee table.
I would totally have one.
Do you know how many coffin coffee tables I've seen, or coffins used as tables, like display tables?
To be fair, this is in 2001.
That's true.
And that coffin decor was still frowned upon. I know because I had some, and it was frowned upon when I had guests over.
Don't
They're
you
like,
have a coffin outside?
I used to. Yeah. It kind of fell apart. I think I sold it, actually. But yeah, I had a coffin that was actually a beer cooler.
Nice.
Yeah, and it would float, so you could take it to the lake.
Dope.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. That is dope indeed.
No cap.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I'm learning.
But apparently Manuela would sleep in this coffin from time to time.
Okay.
Of course. When they went on romantic vacations together, they opted out of fancy hotels and instead would join the dead and sleep in cemeteries and graveyards wherever they went. It's like they it's so far reaching in the edgy. You know what I mean? They're like, what is the edgiest thing we could do right now? Like, go to a fucking graveyard.
Dumb.
I get it, but you know. So the whole time that they're doing all of this, they're like, you know, falling in love, they're dating, they're going to graveyards. The whole time they're doing this, like, they are Satan-centric. Like, they are doing anything, or anything they do is to honor Satan. And they didn't think that they were doing enough. They didn't think that they could be completely devoted to Satan alive. They had to give their whole soul up to the Dark Lord. Then and only then would they be true ambassadors. And that's when they hatched a plan. They would honor Satan by joining their souls on June 6th, 2001. Because 6/6.
I know, I got it. I wanted to not comment and move on.
This part of the story just makes me real mad, because if you're that devoted to Satan, couldn't you wait
6
5 years?
Yeah, wait 5 years, you ding dong.
And do it on 6/6. You know how many people got married on 6/6/6? Like, come on. You could have waited. And
I wish I'd thought of it. It's very edgy.
I was only 16, so I couldn't.
I was already an old dumb bitch by then.
So, yeah, they wanted to get as close to 666 as they could, so they opted out with 6/6. They claimed to have pledged their loyalty to Satan during their marriage ceremony. Instead of pledging their loyalty to each other, it was Spicy Daddy instead. And they felt like they needed to present him a gift, a sacrifice, if you will. They decided to invite their friend, Frank Hackert, a.k.a. Hacky, to come over after the wedding. Hacky worked with Daniel, and Hacky was actually a really, really nice guy. Everyone who knew him said that he was very warm and well-loved. He was popular and he was funny. He loved the Beatles. He had a great sense of humor. And most people who knew him knew that he was the one person that could make you laugh, that big, hearty belly laugh. You know what I mean? Like, he was
Yeah.
just a really great and funny guy. After his death, his parents told the press, quote, "He was a loving, faithful, and sensitive boy. He had recently been left by a girlfriend and was considering to be a monk." And that just breaks my heart. Hackey was also 33 years old at the time of his death. I don't know if this age has anything to do with them selecting him, but
sounds like it, because it adds up to 6.
It does, and that's their missing 6 for the 666.
Yeah,
also,
stupid.
it's a bastardization of Jesus Christ because he died at 33.
I thought he died at 34. I'll look it up while you continue.
Well, I was raised Baptist, and they could have lied. I don't know. But anyways, I'm wondering if maybe that has something to do with their decision-making there. To Daniel and Manuella, he was the perfect victim. He was truly the purest offering that they could find. And basically, because of his ability to entertain people, Manuela ended up telling the courts later that she thought that he would make the perfect court jester for Satan. And I just think that is vile.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. The plan was to kill him, drink his blood, and then kill themselves so that they could enter hell. They could enter hell together and join the throne next to Satan himself.
Yeah, I doubt it.
It's just such a grandiose plan.
Well, it's so full of shit. Because think of this. Like, okay, I'm Satan. And I'm like, yes, killing my name. And I'll be like, sure, you can sit next to me. No. But look at there's Pol Pot. You don't think Pol Pot would get to sit next to Satan, or Hitler?
Who's Pol Pot?
Cambodian dictator that killed many of his own people, the Khmer Rouge. Terrible massacre.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy would probably sit at Satan's table.
He killed like 3 million people, so I would think so.
Yeah, that's
Stalin! Huh?
Yeah.
Napoleon? I think we got a long list of cunts.
Yeah.
That are more deserving to sit by the right hand of Spicy Daddy than these twerps.
You know what I decided to start calling him?
What?
Picante Papa.
Yeah. I had a Picante Papi.
Papi.
Yeah. Yeah. I had actually a Hispanic friend suggest that once.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
I'm going to. Oh, by the way, I'll take an aside. We're gonna have Spicy Daddy t-shirts.
I was gonna ask you when that was gonna happen.
I designed them.
Oh, I'm so proud.
So I'm working on it.
Good.
I made a very funny, handsome, like old timey sailor Jerry tattoo style Satan.
I love you.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You're great.
I think
you do good things.
I try.
So, when Hackey showed up, they greeted him as a friend. They welcomed him in. And when he was least expecting it, they bashed his head with a hammer.
Oh my God.
They laid him on top of the coffee table. They carved a pentagram in his chest, and they stabbed him 66 times.
So stupid. What a waste.
They collected his blood as it flowed from his body, and they drank every last drop. And when they were done, they headed into the coffin for a little cuddle nap.
Disgusting.
When they woke up from their nap, they realized that there was no Satan. There were no superpowers, no dark forces. Nothing happened. So they were like, well, fuck.
Took you this long if you had to kill a guy?
I don't understand what they thought was going to happen.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, there's a missing like leap of logic.
Did you think that you were just going to drink so much blood that you were just going to
become Dracula? Did you think you'd become Dracula and have Dracula powers?
Be undead?
Or just vampire powers, like you can fly around or something? I think it was something like that. Like they needed a sign from Satan after doing this great work in his name and they didn't get one. Stupid.
So they panicked.
Yeah, well, like you do.
So they decided to grab some chainsaws.
Why always that?
And go on a road trip. They never used the chainsaws from my knowledge. I don't know why they grabbed chainsaws, but they grabbed multiple chainsaws and hit the road.
Did they want to did they bring the body with them?
No, they just left him there.
This is stupid.
Isn't it? I'm telling you.
So stupid.
These two criminals are just like... I don't understand.
There's a lot going on.
It's like they want to be like comic book villains or something, but they're not.
They're just gross and pathetic.
Yeah, and they really have like these grandiose ideas about themselves.
They were delusional.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So they were later dubbed the Satanic Bonnie and Clyde for this going on the run stint that they were on. And this was basically their honeymoon. Because remember, they killed him right after their wedding.
Stupid.
And when they went on the run, they basically... It's like they were on an episode of Dark Tourism. They went around from place to place to visit different infamous crimes that had been committed there, which is something that I would do in my own way. Like, I could imagine me going to crimes or like places where crimes took place, especially crimes that like I've studied or know a lot about.
Boy, given what the families have said about that kind of shit and how towns don't like it, I won't do it.
Well, I mean,
maybe for old historical rights, yeah.
Or like, you know, on a random Wednesday in the middle of the day, go walk the street, you know, where you know, certain people have passed, and just from a victim's point of view, just kind of like get the sense of what made...
I'm just so against it because of how many times I've read, like, it was after, and I can't remember the name of this case, but it was like last year, and it was the college murders, like in Iowa, and how everybody just descended like tourists and stuff.
No, that's too fresh. That's too fresh. The one that came into my mind was the Kitty Genovese case. I've seen people go to that street corner and just kind of have a moment for Kitty.
I agree with that kind of stuff as long as it's been a really long time.
Yes, kind of thing.
Yeah, quiet
definitely
moment.
Not
to
any
pay
of
your
the weird shit.
Yeah,
this
to pay your
weird
respects.
Shit. The shit that they were doing was weird shit.
Yeah.
The shit that they were doing was from the vantage point of looking through the killer's eyes.
I
not
figured,
the victims.
yeah.
You know, they were in a way reliving their moments and getting like a thrill rush off.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, really,
and
really
stupid.
disgusting. Yeah, especially for people on the run. I don't know what they were thinking. But yeah, they were basically fangirling over these perpetrators. One spot that they stopped at was where one of the members of the neo-Nazi metal band called Absurd, a man named Hendrik Mobus, who had killed at the age of 16, so prior to him being in that metal band. He was 16 years old when he had ritualistically killed a 15-year-old girl in 1998. He ended up only serving 8 years for the crime because he was a child.
Oh, yeah, okay. But still.
And then once he got out, that's when he started the metal band. And then he was sent back to jail in 1999 for doing the Hitler salute. So, fuck him. He's a really big alt-right neo-Nazi, just filled
lunatic?
With hate. Yeah, absolutely terrible guy. But he didn't act alone. It was actually him and two of his other friends from school, all teenagers. They were later dubbed the case of the Satan's children. And people were absolutely fascinated by this crime, which later led to the rise of fame as an adult. Like, it kind of gave him credit. This ritualistic killing that he did kind of gave him credit for his metal band, basically. And the Rudas were huge fans of him. It's assumed that this particular ritualistic murder was part of the inspiration that they got for killing Frank Hackert. So they went back to relive it.
Gross.
Yeah. Who, by the way, Hackey, police still haven't found him yet. He's still there in their apartment on the ground.
Yeah, I figured they hadn't found him yet.
It wasn't until Manuela's mother received a letter from her while she was on the run. It read something to the effect of, "I am not of this world." And she says, "I must liberate my soul from this mortal flesh."
Okay.
Which is really dramatic. Okay. Which her mother took this as a suicide note. So
I can see why she would.
Of course her mother was not very happy with her daughter, but she really worried about her at this point. So she contacted the police. And the police went to the Ruda's apartment to do a wellness check, and that's when they found poor Hackey on the floor. He was just left there on the ground, decomposing next to the open coffin. Along with all the Nazi propaganda and satanic symbols and texts, the police also found a list of about 15 names.
Oh my God.
That they at the time believed were victims, But now looking back, it's believed that those 15 people were potential soon-to-be victims.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, now the search is on. They were eventually caught at a gas station on July 12th, over a month of being on the run. Daniel denied everything and said that he didn't remember anything about the murders, whereas Manuela indulged in every little detail of what they did together.
Oh, I bet she did.
Once behind bars, Daniel started biting at his own veins and drinking his blood, trying to scare his doctor, taunting him about being a vampire. He later told his lawyer that he wanted to be more famous than Charles Manson. But luckily, of course, he's not. They both really tried to do it up in court, though. Manuela spoke openly about being in vampire cults, performing bite parties, giving her soul to Satan, and everything about the murder. They both admitted in court to stabbing Hackey, but they said it wasn't their fault. Satan made him do it. They were merely following the directions of Bacante Papa. She told the court, quote, "We were not alone. There was a presence there, a powerful force." She said that her husband, quote, "had terrible glowing eyes," just as he went to swing the hammer. Daniel told the courts, quote, "If I kill a person with my car and half of his bloody head is left on my bumpers, it is not the car that goes to jail. It is the driver who is evil. I have nothing to repent because I did nothing."
Okay.
Okay. But of course, the courts didn't believe this for a second. Even Daniel's lawyer said that he didn't believe him. He said, quote, I think he, Daniel, pretends to be an instrument of Satan because he is the sort of person who says, quote, I am the best. I am the greatest. He says, quote, I want to get on stage and I want that everybody knows me. I want to be as famous as Charles Manson, and so I have to kill somebody. He said that to his lawyer.
God, can you imagine being his lawyer? It would
absolutely
suck.
Unhinged. Daniel and Manuela were examined by psychologists or psychiatrists who later determined that they both suffered from, quote, a severe narcissistic personality disturbances, and that because of that, they weren't given life sentences. The judge said, quote, this case was not about Satanism, but about a crime committed by two people with severe disorders.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing mystical or cult-like happened here, just simple base murder.
I agree.
Daniel was sentenced to 15 years, while Manuela was only sentenced to 13 years.
Don't super agree with either of that. I think they will reoffend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we'll get back together and then reoffend.
No.
No? Did they break up?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, they got a divorce. I'm pretty sure they got a divorce while they were in prison. Manuela spent most of her time in the psych ward and has since been released. Daniel worked as a librarian in prison and has allegedly also been released. Manuela changed her name and is basically trying to hide from the person that she used to be, even though it's kind of hard because, like, no matter what she dresses like, no matter what her hairstyle is, no matter how she does her makeup, she always has the most angry scowl.
Pissed.
She cannot change that expression.
I'd be
on her
so
face.
scared to have those people loose. I think they need to be closely monitored.
Oh,
and,
1,000%.
And given treatment, obviously.
1,000%.
I do think they're both very disturbed.
Yeah, even the psychiatrist said that they were likely to reoffend.
See, I'm not just pulling stuff out of my butt.
I mean, clearly they're obsessed with this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
they got to art role playing and couldn't distinguish between reality and fantasy anymore.
Right. Now, granted, their frontal lobe has probably developed by now, so
I don't care. Like, at some point, like,
I'm just hoping that maybe they won't.
I don't want them to, but I think it was an oversight to release them so soon.
Absolutely. That's a man's life they took.
Yeah. I guess that didn't mean nothing to nobody.
Right. No, I've noticed that in researching these cases that Europe has a lot more leniency in their sentencing compared to the United States.
I think we're too prohibitively. I think our sentences are too long for a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially drug offenses.
Oh, my God.
I don't think anybody should be serving a life sentence for a drug offense.
Mm-hmm.
But that happens to Black people especially all the
Yes.
time. I can't even talk about that right now because I've been doing nothing but watching Hurricane Katrina documentaries, and I'm really, really mad.
Why?
So, I realized the other day that while I knew Katrina was really terrible, especially for the African American community in New Orleans,
Right.
I didn't really know enough about it.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was time to educate myself.
Okay.
So I did. And
Well,
now
good
I'm
for you.
pissed. I really recommend Spike Lee's When the Levees Broke.
Okay.
Be in a good place when you watch it, because I
Yeah.
can't even talk about it. I'll cry.
Yeah.
It's fucking disgusting. I'm so pissed. Anyway, you know what I'm not pissed about? Ooh, that was a good one. Yay, soap and business time. Soap is always nice. I'm doing something cool with my soap, and I wanted you guys to know. So I do have like ends of soap and stuff, and sometimes I sell little sample packs of those ends, or I keep them for myself. But I actually have a lot right now. Or, I'll have a collection that isn't as popular, and then I have a lot of leftover soap. Mm-hmm. I will be donating to a place that takes crafters soap ends and stuff like that, or bars that didn't turn out very nice, and they distribute them all over the world to promote hygiene, and it saves lives. So I want you to know, if you support my soap, you're going to support me doing that.
Honey.
Yeah. Oh. I just found out about it, and I was like, I have to do this.
I love that so much. I'm not in a place to cry right now, but I kind of want to tear up.
I'll link the
That's
charity
really precious.
if you ever come across some soap or hygiene products you want to donate to this organization. Mm-hmm. I really believe in it, and it's really nice. Let's wash some hands. Let's keep people safe. Mm-hmm. And I know I said on Maris Monday that my soap would be live on the site today, which is Tuesday while we're recording. Y'all, I have so many orders that I'm packing. I just did not get around to it. I also had an electrician at my house today. I ran 20,000 errands.
You've been sick.
I have been sick, yes. Mm-hmm. My epilepsy's been quite bad. I got really upset because a friend of mine passed away. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get into it because I can't right now. But I friends for over a decade, and I was very sad. Yeah. I'm still very sad. So I took some time to grieve and process. But orders are still coming out on Friday, and that Friday is likely when I'll have everything up on the website, and there is a discount code for listeners, and it is tea soap, and I'll have all the information. I'm still doing tarot card readings, but please do note, if you book with me, it's going to take 1 to 3 days for me to finish it for you, because I have a lot right now, which is fine. I'm not complaining. But other than that, we have Patreon, y'all.
Yes.
We have Discord.
Mm-hmm.
We have merch.
Mm-hmm.
3 to 4 episodes a week on Patreon that you won't get anywhere else. We keep them. We never put them up on our regular podcast until it's been a year. Mm-hmm. And it gives our patrons a chance to have listened to it. Mm-hmm. So, please join our Patreon.
And if you get merch, please send us photos of you wearing them.
It makes me happy.
Or using the mugs or whatever it is.
And don't be shy.
Yeah, I want to see.
I want to see a beautiful face.
It's so exciting.
It is.
It's really exciting.
And join our Discord. It's where we hang out and we talk and chat. We talk about cases and what we made for dinner. And it's a very nice little community. And even if me and Willow aren't on there, lots of very cool people, I would add, are.
Wonderful human beings.
Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So if you're lonely, you want to chit-chat, these are just, you couldn't meet nicer ladies to talk to. Mm-hmm. And nicer fellas. We got some fellas in there. So, come on down. And merch. Oh, yeah.
Brain is Soup.
Brain is Soup is our new shirt.
I saw our merch in targeted ads. I know that it's targeted to whatever I'm on the computer doing, but still, it was pretty exciting.
It's cute.
Yeah. I was like,
it's
that's
cute.
us.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
But we got mugs and hoodies. It's hoodie weather, and those hoodies are so nice.
Yes.
I will get one eventually.
You know you want a hoodie.
You do. You want an oversized hoodie you can snuggle in. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then drink your hot cocoa or pumpkin spice latte out of your cool tea mug.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And then order a pumpkin spice latte soap made by Lillian.
Aw.
Because it's nice.
Yeah.
And listen, y'all, I quadrupled my collection this year. I have so many soaps I haven't even told anyone about. I can't wait.
Aw, fuck yes.
I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I don't have anything else. I'm brain dead.
I love Satan month.
Yes.
Satan.
I will tell you guys my next case. Just prepare yourself, okay?
Can I take a leave of absence?
You may not.
Oh.
What do you think? Maris is going to fill in for that shit? No, he's not.
No.
Also, you've been asking, lots of you have been mailing me when we're going to come out with our new podcast, Maris's reality podcast, soon. Like in a couple weeks. We've been we wanted to figure out the structure.
Yeah.
And it takes a minute. We had to make the intro, which we just did. And so, we're working on it. And it's very cute.
Yay.
You'll like it. Other than that, any details, don't be afraid of our link tree. Click around. Mm-hmm. Maris has made a lot of really cool art. Do you want some cool art? Buy some art from my husband.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on Instagram, follow the page, the podcast page, but also on the podcast page in the highlights section is also our individual Instagrams.
That's right.
So me, Lillian, and Maris's art is on his Instagram.
Yeah, he has a lot of pieces right now. When I say a lot, he has 50 paintings for sale right now. And I will tell you, he's done them all fall and Halloween themed, and they are so fucking cute. Mm-hmm. He just painted a baby possum that is maybe the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think he only wants $40 for it. So, get you some art. Decorate your house. Quit going to Target and all these big box stores and paying for some probably AI-generated garbage that's in everybody's house, and get you a decoration no one else will ever have. Mm-hmm. And support real living artists.
And a lot of people are born this month. A lot of people get married this month.
Makes lovely gifts.
Great gifts.
And who don't love a possum? Who? I ask among us. Do not love possums.
I don't want to know someone if they don't love a possum.
They got little hand foots and real cute.
They're so sweet, and they eat the ticks.
They eat ticks, and they don't get rabies.
Yep.
I've petted many, and they're
so
nice.
Cute.
They are cute.
When they're babies, they hang by your finger upside down.
Yes, they do with their little tails. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hey, y'all, if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We really do. Me and Willow have been really put through the ringer the past couple months, so.
Girl, howdy.
Indeed.
Yep.
Howdy, I say to you. The howdy in me recognizes the howdy in you, okay? That's a terrible joke. I gotta go away. Good night. Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.